Good morning. It is nice and early, about 5 a.m. And I am out here in the garden getting ready for a market day. And today's a little different because I was planning on harvesting beets. We already harvested the carrots, so those are all set. I was going to harvest onions, peas, and a few other things. And got a late text that confirmed that there's no other flower vendor coming to the market, and so I'm allowed to bring flowers, which is the first time of the season that I am able to actually bring flowers. So I'm really excited. But as you were seeing in our raised bed, there's not that many flowers out here yet. So I'm gonna have a lot of harvesting out in the other gardens this morning, and I thought I would show you guys what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm looking at. I'm gonna harvest back over here all the rudbeckia and going to harvest probably a few of the zinnias, even the short ones, although I think this one is way too short. Yeah, maybe it'll be okay. I'll harvest this one back down to about there. That'll give me about an 8 or 9 inch stem length for some of the small bouquets. My plan is to do the small little like pocket posies or whatever you want to call them, the little minis for bouquets on top of a medium and a large. And if possible, have some free stems, buckets of stems there. And, oh, that's beautiful. Have some free stems, and, it looks like somebody's made a little trail. Getting distracted easily this morning. But maybe do even some pick your own bouquets right there at the market, so people can buy a pre-made, or they could choose to have with the main flowers they want, and then I'll have like a standard base that I'll add it to. So that will give me price points at $15 for the minis, $25 for the mediums, the standard market bouquets, and $35 for or $40. I'm trying to figure out, depends on kind of how the flowers come about for the larger ones. So what that's going to take though is a ton of flowers, and so I'm going to pick probably pretty heavily today, and this could be our largest market of the year, which is kind of cool. But more than that, it's about getting our name out there, getting people to know that we don't just do veggies and plant starts, that we really do flowers as well. And see, some of these I'll have to actually pick later. Some of the cosmos won't actually really even open that much, so but I'm going to probably use a lot of the cosmos for the greenery as well. We have a bunch of alyssum that I'll use for fillers, which will be really good in here. And I've got some smaller snaps that I'll be able to use for some of those pocket posies, and need a better name for those. I have to try to come up with something today, but if you have an idea of what to call the minis bouquets, let me know. So probably going to see what I can do to harvest as much as possible today. I've got tons of daisies and some wildflowers that I can pull from as well. And then in here, I had to wait for the little baby bunny to get out of here. I've got some allium onion flowers here, larkspurs in here, snaps in here, and then these are perfect timing for my feverfew, which I'm really excited to use. And then I also have sweet peas, which will be great. I don't think I'm actually going to bring any of the poppies. These are kind of the last ones, since these are already blooming, but I may use their seed pods because I think these are so cool looking. Let me give you a better shot here. So I've got those. Got more feverfew, although these I think still need to open a little bit. Feverfew, you want to make sure you're picking when they're fully open. Got my buckets ready, my solution to add. I've got tons of yarrow. Got a bunch more larkspur ready over here. And some stock. It is stunted, but I think it still looks pretty good over here. So I'll pick some stock over here. I'll do the amaranth for some of the filler. I've got snapdragons in the back, you can see. I've got more I can never say this right, campanula. So I will harvest pretty much all of these for the minis. My status is so darn close for some of it. I actually have some in the early ones. And then my zinnias, though, are small. These will be great for some of the little minis. I love that color. Beautiful color. And then over here in the perennial garden, perennial cut garden, I guess you could call it, starting to get the hyssop here, as well as our first bee balm, which will be great to have. Unfortunately, all the rain and the heat have made a few things not good. Oh, I should show you guys this one over here. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? I'm excited about that. And, oh, hollyhock. Sorry, I should probably tell you what it was. We've got daisies, so the Shasta daisies. I can do lavender. And then here's some of the yarrow colors that I have. Kind of all mixed in, some pinks as well. And I've got yarrow over, actually multiple places. And verbena over here as well. And delphiniums are finally taking off. And then down in the lower lot down there, if I can get to it, I'll plan on picking some grasses and other greenery down there as well. The sunflowers are really close, but not quite at picking. I thought I'd get them by now, but I'm guessing we're just kind of stalled at this stage here. Of course, timing is everything on flowers, but it's been stalled here for a little while, so hopefully we can get, I was really hoping to get that ready by the time I could actually potentially bring it to the market. So they're looking healthy though, not too eaten, which is great. But I gotta get to work, and so tons of greenery and fillers, and then I've got a whole section, or actually two sections, one on the landscape beds at the house that have a bunch of things for cutting, because right now this does not look like a lot, but I have a feeling I'll actually be able to turn this into, I'm hoping, and I've got about 6 bouquets inside from yesterday, and then I'm hoping I'll be able to do another 10 to 15 bouquets, and then maybe some free ones, free stems, loose stems I should say, and then the minis. So we'll see how it goes. I've got my helpers out here, but that's actually a good sign. That means that I don't have, probably the bobcat's not going to be right out here. So I will update you guys in a couple minutes as I keep going. I think it's around 6:30 or so. I just brought in actually 4, maybe 5 buckets. And so I've got some of these poppy pods, the onions, blue plurum, some dill, and some lupin leaves here for greenery. I need to do a lot more greenery. And I picked larkspur snaps, rudbeckia, bee balm, and salvia, and a ton of yarrow. I still have more yarrow to pick too. I need to pick the short stuff in this bed right here. So I got some short buckets ready for that. The campanula and some of the small snaps and small zinnias. And I need to pick more alyssum for filler. Fog's starting to burn off finally. So a bunch of this stuff is close to 20 inches long, so that'll be good for some more filler. And I might do some more cosmos leaves as well from that back bed. But I'm getting to a point where I'm pretty picked over on this area. I do need to go over to the side of the house, actually both sides of the house, and pick those. And then I've got a whole bunch of good greenery actually right on this berm here, and some vetch behind the mulch pile that will be good filler. So I'm back to it. Oh, and I need to pick the little mini daisies, the small daisies, not the, I already picked the Shasta daisies as well. So in here I still have sweet peas to pick. This is my white yarrow patch here with some daisies, and I just had a couple deer come up behind me up there and get really mad. They've been huffing in the woods now. So I'm going to pick a bunch of this yarrow, and I'm noticing a theme. I have a ton of white. I've got a decent amount of yellows and mostly pinks and purples. I don't have any reds really, so yeah, not great to have a good variety for different color options, but it is what it is. This is totally last minute too, and I didn't even know I'd be able to bring flowers to the market. So hopefully these do all right. My helper today, she's not behaving very well. She was just in the flower bed, so I told her she had to get out. So she hopped right to there, just barely off the beds. She may be 10 feet from me, if that. So I think that was one of the babies from last year would be my guess, because she instantly was very, very calm with me. Okay, so now I'm going to pick the campanulas, a couple of the small snaps over there, a couple of the zinnias, and I'm going to use this for the zinnias to basically cut them back down so that we can get long stems, but take advantage of the small buds that are on there. And yeah, I think maybe a couple more things over there for the small bouquets. as well. And then I got to get some greenery also. And I may try to, maybe in a couple hours, once the sun's up a little more, I may try to come back out and pick some more of the rudbeckia once a few more of those open. And then I still have daisies, and I still have the side landscape beds. I just picked all the yarrow, not all, but a bunch of yarrow, but it's almost all white over at the other side of the house. So we'll see. I think it's close to 7 o'clock, but I'm not even sure at this point. I should probably check. All right, show you what I have so far. Sorry for the messy kitchen. I grabbed some mint and oregano, a bunch of different yarrow colors. Shasta daisies, butterfly weed, more yarrow, bee balm. Here, got bee balm over here too. These are the campanulas, some of the small zinnias, larkspur, snapdragons, poppy pods. Some stock is in there. They're a little small, but they're so fragrant and they smell so good. So, just a little bit of what we got going on. I still have all the greens to harvest. Some rudbeckia, salvia, verbena in here. These beautiful blush colors. So I gotta keep going and try to get all this stuff done before it gets much hotter. It's gonna be really hot today, high mid 80s. I'm a little nervous about that, but should be good. I think I have enough color. I was worried that I didn't have enough pop of color to go with all this white, but I think I do, because the feverfew really acts like and the alyssum too, acts like a filler really well to bring out the colors of the snaps or the rudbeckia. All right, I think it's about 20 of 8, and I'm finally on to greens and filler. So hopefully I have enough flowers, but really at this point it's, bring what I can. I'm kind of doing this as a last minute thing, but I want to present really well, since it's kind of a big opportunity to get people to be aware that I am right here in Gardner and doing flowers. So I still have to pick onions and beets, but I should have time to do that after I get those greens into the AC, so that they can kind of get prepped so that I can do arrangements in probably a few hours. So lots going on, but at least I do have some arrangements made yesterday, and hopefully the greens are drying enough, but not wilting when I pick them right now. So I gotta get back to it. I will update you guys shortly. All right, so I just picked about 10 onions. I'm not gonna bring too many, but it helps me thin those out. So I'm actually gonna wash these. Normally I wouldn't wash them, and I'd dry them and cure them and everything. But since these are gonna be sold fresh at the market, I will pull I'll actually rinse them, pull some of the outer leaves, clean them up, and then I'll actually cut them to about probably here, and not bring the greens down. And then here's the beets. So not too many bunches today, but yeah, just maybe 4, looks like 3 or 4 bunches today. Looks like I pulled an onion, so I'll go replant this as well. But yeah, so not bad. So it'd be really light on veggies this week because we're focusing on flowers, but I will have 10 bunches of carrots also that we already harvested. Well, I just found some awesome little dudes. These guys are ladybug larvae. They specialize in eating an immense amount of aphids, and things like carrots and alyssum are really good host plants because the greenery is a great source of cover as well. So what I'm going to do is get these guys to safety in the hoop house and put them back to work. Okay, so I've got my bunches made here. All right, they're all washed up. I don't mind imperfections on the produce, and that's probably because of the way I garden, and what I would look for is not perfect veggies, which sounds a little weird, but if they're too perfect, they probably have extra chemical things on them. Yeah, pretty happy with these. Again, they're decent size. We've been cooking with them for a couple weeks now. And yeah, I think this will go well with the flowers, just onions, beets, and carrots. And then we'll have the cutting boards, and that's it. So just finally got set up, already sold a couple carrots and some flowers. It's about 88 degrees, which is definitely not ideal, and definitely spilled water on the way here, so that's always fun. Jace got here just in time to help me set up. Hopefully we have an amazing market. They're gonna do butterfly releasing at 3:30 right here, and there's cold brew and all sorts of stuff. There's tons of activities. There's live reptiles, and yeah, lots going on, but it is hot. All right, we're about an hour in. Sold a cutting board, sold some onions and carrots and beets also. Got the little $15 minis, and then the bouquets up here left. I sold my big pitcher, and I've sold I don't even know how many bouquets at this point, but doing really well. So excited for that. The heat is definitely starting to get to the flowers, so hopefully we don't have any issues and we can sell out before we have to throw out some of these flowers at the end of the day. The market will really kick off in about a half hour when the butterfly release is happening right here.